Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, you grow hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a headline about Cantor Equity Partners. I know we've had a lot of questions about them in the Discord, so I'm happy to announce that they've bought some Bitcoin with their partnership, and we're going to dive a little bit more into that. They do have a stock dilution that's coming on up. There is no real timeline on that just yet, but definitely something I'm going to be watching for, and that's going to be my buying, my little buy signal there once they dilute their stock just a little bit. But let's dive on into this stock heat map and get you prepped for some success today. We've got quite a bit of a mixed bag in the pre-market so far. We've got Apple sitting down 0.47. We've got Nvidia sitting up 2% in the pre-market right now. We've got Berkshire Hathaway sitting up 0.06. We've got Amazon down 0.35. We've got Nvidia up 1.28%. ExxonMobil sitting down 0.34 in the morning. We've got Tesla up 1.91% this morning and sitting up quite nicely off of its close yesterday, 4.93% to the upside. We've got P&G sitting down off of its close yesterday, but sitting up just a little bit in the pre-market right now, up 0.26%. We've got Microsoft is sitting down this morning 0.73%, Google sitting up 0.34%, and Meta sitting up in that neutral range 0.12%. So quite a bit of a mixed bag this morning. We do have the crypto side of things looking extremely green. There is one outlier, and that is SWI. And normally the one outlier towards the top side was SWI, and now it's the outlier to the bottom side. Scrolling on down, we do have Bitcoin with no change on that daily. Have been holding quite nicely in this sideways range. Got Ethereum up 5.1. XRP maintaining that number 3 spot from BNB. Took it right back after BNB took it. Sitting up 4.2%. We got BNB up 0.3%. Solana up 3.4%. Doge sitting up 3.5%. Cardano up 2.1%. We've got Tron up 3.5%. There's SWI, that one outlier, sitting down 1.8 on the daily and 1.3 on the hourly. We've got Chainlink up 2.4%. Avalanche up 4.4%. We've got Stellar Lumens up 2.3%, looking quite nice on the hourly as well, getting some continuation there. We've got Shiba Inu up 2.1%, HBAR up 1.1%, Hyperliquid sitting up 0.9%, Pi Network still holding in that top 20 after it get that strong move up in market cap from the low 20s to 15, has slid down several spots, but holding in that top 20, sitting up 5.6% on the daily. We've got TON losing a position to Pi Network, down 1% or up 1%, and Leo token sitting up 2.9%. Hopping over to those fear and greeds, we are sitting greedy on both the TradFi side of things and the crypto side. We've got that stock market sitting at 69 and greed, And the crypto side of things sitting at 73 and greed. Not too unexpected as we've got some nice moves towards the upside. We do have quite a bit of liquidity sitting to the bottom side of us on Bitcoin on this 24-hour chart. And it's a key level that I have drawn out on the chart. This is at 102,624. I'm sitting a little bit lower than that. 102,500 was what I was looking for. Still plenty of room to come back down and sweep up that liquidity. It is sitting right below us, so a nice easy grab for those market makers. We do have a little bit of liquidity to the top side of us at that $106,000 mark. This is on that 3-day. Not too much of a hot spot, but definitely an easy area to come up and test. We do have some resistance that is sitting up there, so that is also a key level I've been looking at. We do have this 2-week with most of the liquidity to the downside, all the way back at that $93,000 mark. I don't know if we really come and grab that in the next few weeks or so, but I do think we're looking to maintain a new range here. We might get some deviations, a little to the downside, a little to the upside, but for now, it looks like we're going to be trading a little bit sideways unless we get some extremely positive news again. We're going to have to take a look at that Bitcoin chart in just a second. We do have some stuff coming out here on the economic calendar this week. Let me get that swapped over to the right week there. We do have our 30-year mortgage rates coming out here in just a little bit. That'll be at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Not a massive market mover, but definitely something to keep your eye on. We do have Fed Jefferson speaking at 9:10 Eastern time. We get our crude oil stock information. Scrolling on down, we get Fed daily speaking here at 5:40 Eastern time. That'll be here this evening. Definitely going to be watching these Fed speeches, especially after we saw this China deal. Does this give them anything positive towards a potential rate cut here? I'd say late summer. That would be my first expectation for any kind of rate cut. Will really just depend on what metrics we're going to be watching for. We do get employment change from Australia this evening. That'll be that big market mover for the Asia time zone. That'll be at 9:30 Eastern time. So it's another thing to watch for this evening. We also have that United Kingdom GDP growth rate quarter over quarter. That will be a big market mover in that same trading window. So keep your eyes open for that one. Let's hop it on over to that Bitcoin chart and say hello to the chat. I see quite a bit of you in here this morning. We got Kyle Fields. We've got K Diggity in the house. Good morning to you. Let's see what was going on there. I remember when I first realized your user handle and people weren't calling me K Diggity, says Kyle Fields. Jay Violet in the house. Good morning. Good evening to you, since you said you're making dinner. Please don't ban me or anything. Never. We got Jesse Gluck in here, coming in a little bit late. He must have got some sleep. Billy Goat Tales was awesome last night, he says. Well, I missed out on it. I'm going to have to listen to it here today. Normally what I do, I am in bed quite early since I wake up quite early. All right, let's hop into this Bitcoin chart because I'm seeing something on the daily here. We do have this divergence here sitting on the daily, but we do see quite nice money flow. This is something we've been watching here on Good Morning Crypto. to watch this money flow, see if we can get continuations from shorter term time frames that really bleed into these higher term time frames and give us that continuation push towards the upside. We're kind of at a crucial point here as that money flow is looking to potentially roll over. So if that does happen on the daily with this divergence, would look for a little more downside. We do have a point where we could hold up quite nicely at about 98,200, and that's going to be the bottom side of this CME gap I have drawn out. And that's definitely an area I would look to close first, see if we can find some support there. If we do see some kind of crazy money flow coming on out, I would look down here at this bottom side CME gap. Not really looking at it for now. I'm just going to take this level by level. We do have this 236 to kind of hold us up if we do drop into this CME gap here. That's going to be about $96,000. Let's zoom this on in, take a look at that 4-hour chart and what the rest of the week might be bringing our way. We do have nice green volume here. We are looking at money flow to kind of maintain where it's been staying. We did get a brief dip into the red after we lost this 382. Been holding with some nice positive money flow ever since. We did get this divergence that kind of played out with this dip straight into our fair value gap here. Looking to see if we can at least maintain that 100 to 500 range. That's where all of the liquidity is sitting on that 24-hour chart before we get that nice push back up towards that $106,000 mark. We do have your MACD and prime oscillator looking at quite indecisive right now. Could really go in either direction and is going to depend a lot on what kind of money flow we get going into the news events for tomorrow, and that's going to be our PMI and our retail sales month over month. I do think we get some positioning on that during today, with how retail sales is looking to come down from 1.5%, and your PPI month over month looking to increase. And definitely some data headed in the wrong direction, so we might get that nice sweep of bottom side liquidity first, a push up towards that $106,000, so people have that opportunity to really sell and grab some bottom side liquidity. Let's zoom it on in, take a look at that 1-hour chart here, and this is where you see some nice close to bottoming on our prime oscillator. Money flow sitting in the red here, but True 7 about clipped out. Does look like you might be seeing that nice bottom side liquidity sweep to really clip out that True 7 there, really push the prime oscillator all the way to the bottom. That MACD is getting some slight sideways momentum here, but still looking towards the downside. So that's where we'd look for that 102, 500 to really show us some support there. Let's zoom it on in, see what the morning is bringing our way with that 15-minute chart. And this is where we are looking for a little bit of some upside moves this morning. We do have some strong resistance sitting above us at about 104,800, and another level that's right the bottoms from this sideways momentum, and it's kind of where we topped out here. Is going to be that $104,000 point. So definitely a few areas to the top side to kind of watch to see if we can get above and past, as our MACD and our prime oscillator are both looking to the upside on the 15-minute chart. We do still have very, very decently red money flow though. So that's why I'd really look for a little bit of a resistance area with your higher term time frames looking a little bit like they need to cool off. Look for that resistance to the top side, try to sweep that bottom side liquidity, and then get that strong move towards the upside. with some positioning for tomorrow's data. Let's see, we got JR in the chat. Good morning to you. I'm still laying in bed. Had to get on the phone to watch it, says Jesse. Well, I appreciate you being here. Sometimes that's what I do in the evenings when I'm watching those shows. Like, I don't feel like turning the PC on after I got home. I just take a shower and I lay in bed. I just do some stuff on the phone. So I definitely know how you feel there. Let's see. I bet my brother used to call me that when we were little. Good times, says Kyle Fields. I think I missed something there in the chats, but glad y'all are having a great morning. We've got Moondeg EOS long, perhaps closed short, says JR. Well, if you got the nice move to the downside, then you're definitely sitting in some profit there. Nothing wrong with taking some profits. I do think we see a little more downside, and then we get that strong push up. I do see a little bit of some resistance to the top side, and we've got a lot of liquidity on that daily chart sitting on the bottom side. Let's hop over to that news article I had pulled up for today. Just a brief article. I talked about Cantor Equity Partners, I think about 2 weeks ago. This was a partnership between Tether and Cantor and 21 Capital and Bitfinex, looking to start doing the Michael Saylor Bitcoin buying strategy of buying some Bitcoin, leveraging that to get more Bitcoin, and then buying more Bitcoin with that money. So here we go. It looks like back at 95,300, they bought 4,812 Bitcoin. And this is just now being announced through the proper chains. So they do have a little bit of some time to kind of file when they do buy these Bitcoin, buy some Bitcoin. They're not doing the Saylor method where as soon as they buy, they're like, yeah, we bought. And they're hoping to kind of like move the markets off of that. So doing it through the proper change. They still do have their merger in the works. So this is not fully ready to go. As it says here, tokens are held in escrow and later to be sold to the merged company. So this is going to be held for quite a while here. It is not completely finished. We are waiting on that merger, and when that merger happens, we will see that stock dilution happen. So keeping my eyes on CEP. And speaking of CEP, let's take a look at this chart here, because it does look like it's holding up this golden pocket quite nicely. I am looking a little bit lower because we do have a CME gap sitting at right below this platinum pocket here. And with the weakness that we did see right here on the golden pocket, I would look a little bit lower, especially since we are going to be seeing that stock dilution with that partnership going through. We do have the CME gap sitting right here under $20, sitting at that $18.94 with the top side and the bottom side sitting at about $16.96. So definitely a little window to watch for on CEP. I will be buying in that zone 100% because it is quite a nice level. We do see all of this upside potential here, and they're doing the Michael Saylor strategy. I do think that gives them some nice pushes to the upside. I did miss out on that initial move. I'm not a big fan of riding initial moves. I like to see the potential, get me some cash out points, and then wait for that retracement, buy in so that I know some nice key levels to sell at. This was quite a run towards the upside. Let's get our CME gap colored the correct color. We like to go with blue here, and that's going to be the CME gap we watch for on Cantor Equity Partners. We do have a little bit of some downside looking on the hourly charts with some extremely red money flow. Volume just starting to pick back up, so definitely going to be watching to see if this continues to bleed over into our higher term time frames. The daily looking like you're about to hit that real red money flow. It looks like it is going to be opening up towards the top side this morning, but it is finding some resistance at yesterday's highs. So definitely looking like it might continue on to the downside unless we can really see some positive money flow coming back in here. And that's where I'd really look for this CME gap to be hit all over again. We did kind of blow straight through these levels on the way to the upside there. So nice little retracement, about 70%, and then we see that continuation move towards the upside. I see we got Donato Cabrera in here. Good morning, sir. I hope you're having a great day so far. Do we have any assets that anyone would like me to take a look at this morning? I've got plenty of time. I was going to take a look at some gold here. And I was going to take a look at the Dixie because the Dixie has been getting a slight move to the downside, not too unexpected. And we do have ADA that I was definitely going to take a look at because we got Jesse in the chat. Let's take a look at some gold here. I did talk about some lower levels, and it does look like we repeated the pattern that we're seeing at the top. Let me get this zoomed on out. I don't know why it's on the 15-minute chart there. There we go. We are looking like on that shorter term time frame, we made a nice little bit of a double topping action there. And that's why I have this level down here at 3,132 marked out. If you scroll it on out, zoom it on out, here we go. We got this nice range that we saw back here, where we got this nice push up. We saw this strong move up. We played around at that platinum pocket, and then we really dropped below all of our key levels. That's kind of the same little move that I'm looking for here. We got this nice rejection off of our platinum pocket area after we got that strong sweep above it. And then we're looking for a little bit of some downside action. I did take a little long back here. I told you all about. Got out at that golden pocket. Wasn't too worried about that little extra bit of percentage gains. We are looking to reposition down here at the bottoms. We do see money flow looking at a crucial level here. It is sitting in the red as we're getting some sideways momentum here on both our MACD and the prime oscillator here on this 4-hour. Looking to really see which way that money flow takes this. Looking at that daily, we do see that potential for that continuation on some downside movements here. So looking to see if we can really tap the bottom side of this prime oscillator, start getting some curvature here on the MACD. So daily looking like we made that nice little lower high here, looking to potentially make that lower low to really sweep any liquidity in this zone before we get that strong move towards the upside all over again. There was a lot of liquidity sitting back here on gold with the futures market. So hopping on over to the Dixie, we do see us coming all the way back down to that key level I had marked out. That was at 137. So definitely looking like we're gonna be losing this zone. Coming all the way back down towards our golden pocket. You know, after they announced that China deal, everyone was bullish. They get that move towards the upside, and then you really hear what's in the China deal, and then the markets are like, boom, on the dollar. So you have been seeing some nice upside movements on the traditional side of things. You have been seeing those nice upside movements on your risk on assets as well. Does look like people are starting to get in that profit taking mode. We are looking to potentially hold this golden pocket all over again, as the 4-hour does look like it has a little more room to run to the downside. Looking at that 1 hour, we are looking like we've got that bottoming action here. I would look for just a slight pop towards the upside, try to see if we can get back above 180 before we really see some continuation to the downside here, especially with how those higher term time frames are looking. 15-minute looking like it's getting that strong move to the upside, but with that strong move to the upside, you're really seeing your prime oscillator getting that straight move up, but only sitting in the light red. Your volume is starting to slow down quite a bit as well. So another thing to really hold the Dixie up as it gets back up to some key levels. We had SNEC that was requested. I guess we can take a look at SNEC after some ADA. I don't think I have that anywhere on my list because I don't think I've ever looked at a snack. Not a big memer. So let's take a look at ADA. And we do see ADA got that nice strong push up, trying to maintain some of those key levels I had looked at. Let's clean up this chart just a bit here. We were looking at those short-term bouncing zones. We got those strong bounces off of them, and now we're looking to maintain some of our key levels here. Let's get this closed on out, zooming on out to that daily time frame, and this is where things are kind of looking a little bit similar to Bitcoin. We do get that nice strong push up. We do clear and get back above some key levels, which is something that Bitcoin did, was maintaining that 102,500 quite nicely. ADA does not have that divergence here. We are looking at kind of the same thing on some money flow. Money flow is kind of on its way towards a dangerous point. We could be dipping straight back into that selling pressure. You know, that 80-cent zone is not a bad place to take profits if you're buying in 30 cents and you missed out on selling above $1. So definitely something that some people will be doing, front running that dollar point. I do think a lot of people wait to get back above a little bit closer to that dollar zone. I definitely know what SNEC is. I'm long on SNEC. Top meme on ADA. Yep, I know it's an ADA meme. Full transparency. I've been in the crypto space since 2011, and I've never ever bought or traded a meme. I just never done it. I know a lot of people make some money off of it. I've never been a fan. I put my dollars where I put my words. So I'm a Bitcoin maxi, true, and all I really own right now is Bitcoin. I own some gold. I do own some stocks, which I did want to take a look at one of those stocks because it popped 26% to the upside yesterday. And I was telling y'all about it back in February. So we're going to take a look at that one as well after we take a look at SNEC. So I am looking at ADA to kind of get that nice little move back up to 88. It does look like we might see a little bit of some cool off, the same way that we were looking at Bitcoin to do a little bit of some cool off. We do have that 76 cent zone to kind of hold us up here. A lot of buying pressure in that zone. Taking a look at that 4 hour, it is looking quite indecisive, the same way that Bitcoin was looking quite indecisive. You talking about Coinbase stock? I am not. So I dropped a whole list for the Discord back a while ago at some energy stocks I was looking at and some gold stocks I was looking at. And the one energy stock that I had in that list was SMR, and it popped 26% to the upside yesterday. I took a little bit of profit, and I'm looking at some repositioning. Let's see what we're looking at here on the 4 hour for ADA. We do have some divergences that have already played out. Our volume is maintaining quite nicely here. Looking a little bit indecisive on both that prime oscillator and the MACD. Some money flow in either direction are really going to give us a little more information here. Let's zoom it on in take a look at that 1 hour. 1 hour looking like we're going to be bumping up against this 50% line on that Fibonacci. Going to be that 82.28 on for ADA that we'd kind of look at as some resistance here, as we have been trying to maintain some of these areas. We do have both the prime oscillator and your MACD looking a little bit to the downside here. Volume is extremely low. Looking for that to really clip out. We do have some strong support back here at that 80 cent area. So looking like we're trying to find some strength all over again. Might need to see that little bit of a cool off. 15-minute looking like we've got that nice strong move towards the upside. But like I said, that 82 cent zone is looking like a little bit of some resistance here. We do have that being that 50% line on our Fibonacci retracement. Prime that MACD not even crossing our indicator line here, looking like it might be getting that nice little sideways momentum here, and just a little, just like that prime oscillator is kind of moving a little bit sideways after the strong pop to the upside. Let's hop over and take a look at SNEC. I'll have to look it up because I don't have it on my list anywhere. We'll take a look at it on spot with the crypto. Does have the most history. I will be missing out on the money flow data, but not the biggest deal there. Let's see. SNEC makes higher highs, so we do have that for it. Does look like it's made a higher low, really confirmed that low as well. So let's get this zone pulled on up. Look at what levels we might be looking for. Pull it to the lows here. We do have us trying to maintain this 236 right now. We'll kind of have to see if we can do that here on our hard term time frames. We're looking like we might need to cool off on SNEC as well. So making that nice little higher high here, higher high, but making lower highs on our prime oscillator. So potential for some downside action if you do get a little bit of some downside action on both ADA and some Bitcoin. Let's zoom it on in. Take a look at the hourly, see what the day might be bringing our way here. Looking like some battle with that 236, a 0.03834 that we try to hold up. You do have your MACD and prime oscillator getting that little bit of some sideways momentum. So a little bit of hopium here on the hourly. Your volume is extremely low though. So if you do end up seeing that nice strong move of money flow and it comes in red, look for some lower levels. We do have a nice little zone to the bottom side, 0.0346. That I'd kind of look for on SNEC. We did get that nice strong bounce off of that zone, and we got some nice strong bounces off of that same zone back here as well when we did battle with that 236. So if we lose that 236, we do have this strong level to kind of watch out for. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker so it's a little bit better to see there. That's going to be that level I'd really watch for if we lose the 236. Looking like we're trying to maintain it right now, but you are making a little bit of a lower high here, so the potential for a switch of trend if we cannot break back above and at least confirm a higher low all over. We have been making higher lows the entire time, but this lower high here, which is very equal with these highs over here, kind of leads me to believe you might be running out of some short-term steam on SNEC, and you might need to sweep the bottom side just a little bit. I bet you there's some liquidity down here between these levels and that level I had drawn out. probably some liquidity sitting down here as well on anyone that's been leverage trading on some snack. I know there's some degens out there that love to leverage trade meme coins. All right, let's take a look at that stock I was talking about. I'm going to have to scroll it on down. It is in energy and it's called SMR. And it got a nice strong pop towards the upside, found some resistance at the 382, looking to open at the 382 this morning. So I am looking for a little bit of some repositioning points on SMR. I talked about it way back here in March. That's where I did my first little bit of buying. I bought back here and then I bought back here and then it popped. So looking to kind of see if we can reposition back down at the golden pocket. That's coming in at about 1658. You do have a little bit of a trend line down here as well that you could potentially come on down and retest, because this does like to pop to the upside quite quickly, really retest some levels and then continue its move to the upside. Let's get this trend line drawn out there. As you can see, a nice little zone to kind of come back and test. We do have the golden pocket sitting up right below us that I'd kind of look for as a first area. If we do end up losing all of that, would look a little bit lower. But the nice thing to see here on the daily is your money flow's just about to break green. So all of this has not had you in some green money flow because we got that nice strong move towards the downside. We did get that strong platinum pocket touch there, and then we really continued that trend towards the upside. Let's zoom it on in, take a look at that 1 hour, see what we're looking at there. Some nice top in action on that 382, and that's where I'd really kind of look for a little bit of a retracement there. See if you can kind of hold up that 50% line on our Fibonacci's. That was our nice strong topping area before we got that continuation push to the downside on the platinum pocket. Your money flow does look like it's rolling over there on the hourly. So seeing a little bit of a retrace after a crazy move like this is not too unexpected. You do have a CME gap as well, sitting below that 50% line on our Fibonacci. That's going to be this zone right here. Let me get it fully drawn out. Going to be 1897 to 1789. That we'd really look for to be retested if we are unable to maintain this 50% line on our Fibonacci retracement there. 50% line coming in at $19.60. So a few key areas to the downside to kind of watch for if we do see money flow continue to roll over, which it does look like it's going to try to make that nice little retest of the 382 here this morning as everything opens on up. And then we'd really see that continuation to the downside. Pre-market is trying to get that last little retest of the 382 there. All right. I didn't see any other requests, so let's see. Let's scroll on up. I set a limit order from Oshi's show last night when he looked at SWE. I woke up in profits. Shout out to OC. And he does a great job over there at trading with OC. So let's take a look at SWE then. Let's hop it on over to the right tab there so we're not messing with all of our other data. There we go. SWE. Saw that resistance back at $4.25 that we'd kind of been looking for. Are trying to maintain this 382, just like a lot of other projects are looking to maintain some key levels. You do have some bottoming action here on the 1 hour. Let's see What the 4 hour is looking like there? 4 hour does look like you have a little bit more of some continuation towards the downside on these oscillators. To do that with some nice strong sideways momentum would be something nice to see, instead of that dip back down to, I don't know, probably about the 380s. 376 would be the area I'd kind of look for. We do have all of this strong action off of that zone. We got that testing back there as well. Let me get that cleaned up. 376 would be that area I'd kind of watch for. We do have some strong support at 382 as well. So a little bit of a buy zone. And that area, let's get that drawn out as a green rectangle. There we go. From 380 to our white line there. That'd be the little buy zone I'd watch for. If we drop below that 382, I'd be looking at some buying pressure stepping on in this zone. So looking like you might see a little bit of some cool off on your higher term time frames. 15-minute, getting that strong move towards the upside that everything else was that we had kind of looked at this morning. Looking to try to maintain that 382 prime oscillator, looking like it's got plenty of room to run towards the upside here as the True 7 clipped out, unlike some of those other assets we'd been looking at. MACD, getting some strong curvature to the upside here, but has not come anywhere close to our indicator line here on the MACD. Printing some nice light red candles here as we got that move to the upside. Looking to try to retest this midline of this 15-minute fair value gap. Does look like there is some resistance at the midline of that. So we'll really kind of have to see if we get that continuation of some positive money flow on the short-term time frame and really blast back to the upside of about $4.10. That is a bit of a resistance zone, as you see all of the play off of that zone, that area back here, back here, back here, and here as well. So $4.10 looking like a little bit of a resistance area. $4.25, some extremely strong resistance on SHWI. We did get that wick in action directly off of it there. We got that nice little break above it there, but all of your candle bodies closed on $4.25 at 65 right there. So very strong resistance towards the top side. Let's hop it on over to that solo screen. Oh, wrong one there. Hop it on over to that solo screen because it is about time to head over to Billy Goat Tales. We do have a few other shows here on the Piper Academy. I know most of you know about them, but if you don't, we've got that morning market report with Army Piper and OC at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's where we're going to get that breakdown of the morning's data. Definitely going to be watching for his breakdown for this morning because I was a little bit under the weather yesterday, and so I want to hear what else he says. I know we're doing some positioning going into tomorrow's data. I teased that at the beginning of the show. We got PPI tomorrow. Looking like things are not headed in the right direction. Inflation kind of stepping in on the producer side. So we'll definitely be watching for that. We do have trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I talked to you about that. Great place to learn to do TA, or if you need some refreshers on TA or you're not sure what you're looking at, great place to do some learning. We've also got Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto. That is at 11 p.m. Eastern Time for all you late night peoples. I'm always asleep at that time, so you guys are up quite a bit later than me. He hits that Asia time zone quite nicely. That's that Asia market open where he's coming in at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure to tune into the rest of the shows. Give them that thumbs up and let them know what you'd like to see on the charts with OC. Ask LBC about Elliott wave theory because he's a beast on that. And make sure you ask Piper about the data because he loves to break it down. I will see y'all at the morning motivational video here in just a second. Make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.